Welcome, everybody, to the Eden Army podcast. My name is Pete Robertucci, and I'm your host for this evening. Of course, we got Russ in the background. We had a great show this evening, and I'm happy to be back with all of you guys. But before we do any of that, remember to make the algorithm gods happy and follow, subscribe, do whatever those toolboxes want you to do so we can get promoted here on the podcast. But that's not what's important. What's important is we've got a bunch of people right now over on Kick, but the star of the show tonight is our good friend and one of the OGs of the Eden Army podcast, Terry. Terry, it's your birthday, sweetie. Happy birthday. We all love you, and we're glad you are with us and celebrating your birthday with us. We got a bunch of people. Russ is listening to me in the background, but Russ, we got a bunch of people over here in Kick. Fireman Ed, Jeff's over there. Larry made it. Will's the lone survivor over there on YouTube, going by the Apocalyptic Prepper. Who else we got? We got Guy, we got EA, we got Chrissy's over there. Mama Tooch is somewhere. We got Sandy. What else we got? And they're just filling in. It's like it's a madhouse over there. Red Agnes, Meta is over there. It's a madhouse over on Kick, Russ. I don't know what to tell you, buddy. So Corey's over there, killing it. So Will, get over on Kick. Stop messing. There he is. Now he's back over there now. Good job, buddy. Outstanding. Tonight we got a pretty good show. We're going to talk about John McCain's son and how friggin' crazy he is, right? He's bashing Trump about his appearance at Arlington Cemetery. We're going to talk a little more in depth about that. We're also going to talk about Alexa and her political views. And apparently, there's spies that are working in New York for governors Cuomo and Uckel. As well as we're going to talk about the Walsh family and how they feel about their relative running for the vice presidency of the United States. But before we do that, let's bring in Russ. Come on in here, buddy. Spend some time with me. Everybody, welcome Russ.
Hey,
no longer in
I'm
the
not in a camper anymore. I don't know what to do.
No longer in the background. We're able to bring him up a little bit earlier. We've got a lot of moving parts. Russ, we talked about this earlier. We got a lot of moving parts to this podcast. And I'm telling you right now, I'm going to screw it up. There is no doubt in my mind. I am going to F this thing up. And I'm trying not to cuss because Rev got on to me last week. So I'll use other words. But Russ, the first thing, let's talk about, I did a thing about like the prepping item of the week not too long ago. And every now and then there's that one item that I really like. It really catches my eyes. And if you know about my mandatory minimums for my bug out bag, you know that I love stick stoves.
Absolutely.
So Brian Loftus over at BSO Survival Gear BSO put together a little bit of a video about what's in one of his to-go packs. But I really want to just concentrate on the one item called the Pathfinder Cooking Canteen. And you can see over there, if you're on Botrix, we've got a code already. Prepare 20 is going to give you 20% off on this thing. But let's do the I think we should probably let's watch the video. Let's watch the video first, Russ.
All right.
Have this is the Pathfinder stainless steel canteen set. So the canteen set here, Pathfinder's always kind of switching stuff up as far as the pouches that these come in. I've seen some of their kits with some Digicam pouches. This is your basic OD green pouch. I think what they're going to recently is that they're leaving the pouch out because a lot of people like to put their own patches in, or they just say it takes up a little bit too much room. So they're just bringing in the kit itself. So this kit comes in several pieces. You have your lid here. It's got the holes in it for your cooking, or if you need to make some char cloth, maybe.
I'm going to pause him as he goes. Those holes also make for a good strainer. If you're cooking inside of it, you can actually strain out the extra. So anyway,
Some,
That's
some
really
charred
cool.
wood there out of some punk wood. You can do that here. It lets enough oxygen in and just a little bit of oxygen in so that your elements inside do not light on fire and burn up. You want to char that stuff. And there's your clip on the bottom for your cooking set. Got basically a pot stove here. Putting on the ground, you put your fuel sources in here. This pops down like this. You've got a few D-rings here, so you don't have to hold on to the hot stainless steel item itself.
and those D rings, I watched another video, like a I don't know, it was a review of this particular set, and those D rings, you put a stick through them so you can keep it on there and pull it out of the fire if you wanted to. That way you don't have to touch any of the steel. Pretty cool idea.
I mean, that canteen cup alone is such a great upgrade from the old canteen cups and stoves that I used to use back when I was in the military.
Oh yeah, and again, it's all stainless steel, so you could put that right in the fire if you want to, or you can use a stick stove, which I'll show you here in a second.
Nice.
You got a nice little handle for the fire. You can do your cooking in there. And when it's all said and done, clean it out. Flip this upside down. Here, here, here. Stick this on the bottom of your pack, and away you go. This is one of the more popular canteen cook sets out there on the market. That's why we put it in our USKR Ultimate Survival Kit. Check it out on our website, survivalgear.us.
There you go. Very cool camp set with stick stove and everything. Now, I'll just be honest. The only bad review I saw about that particular stove at all was the actual, the case. And people said that the case was kind of chintzy, but he recognized that. And he says, I don't even think they're sending them out anymore in that pouch. I think they're just sending that.
Because if it will fit in a standard canteen pouch, like from a Molly gear set or a rifleman's kit or anything like that, then you're golden. You already have it. I
Exactly.
still have a bunch of that stuff in my shed.
Yeah, exactly. So that's pretty good stuff. As a matter of fact, I think what I'm going to do, I've already ordered mine before I even knew that we were going to get 20% off on this, on that thing there. Why'd that banner show up? Let's get rid of that banner there. Before I even knew that we were going to get 20% off, but they're relatively cheap for what you're getting, and you can knock off 20% on top of that. So that's kind of a no-brainer. So I ordered mine, and I think, Russ, what I'm going to do, once we get 15 subscribers, we got 12 subscribers now on Kick. Once we get 15, 3 more, I'll go ahead and get with Brian over there at Survival Gear BSO. I'll buy another one and send it out we'll do a little lottery thing like we did on the last one.
Absolutely.
Now, Chrissy, you're right. That lid I don't like the way it clamps on. You just got to be aware that you have to lift the little piece up and lock it down into place. You got to kind of remember if you're hungry enough and you don't want to spill it, I promise you'll remember to put that damn thing down.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. And don't forget, guys, Brian will be at Fallout with a lot of his stuff that he does sell. If you like something on his website, contact him. And if he can get it and bring it, y'all work something out. I'm sure Brian will work with you. I got a box in the mail from Brian while I was gone. I owe him some freeze-dried items, and he sent me, and this is going to tick off Christy, but I don't care, a jar about this size of Cheese Whiz, so we can do those brisket Philly cheesesteaks again the proper way.
Yeah, with Cheese Whiz.
With Cheese Whiz. But man, hey, 3 more subscribers, guys.
Pretty simple.
Yep. And we'll go from there.
What else? I got a note here that we need to congratulate our good friend, Anthony Bonnet. Now, if you guys don't know who Anthony is, he is the husband of Holly. And Holly works with Chris a lot, used to work with me doing promotions and basically just kind of being a manager, right? Trying to teach me how to do stuff. So
She's taught me everything I know.
Yeah, she was selfless, and you have her to blame for this silly podcast because she told me I got to get out from behind the desk and actually show my face. But her husband is a country music artist, and he came out with a brand new single called "That's Just Me," and you can pick it up over there at Anthony Bonnet. I'm told is the proper pronunciation of that, and that's available tomorrow. So you can pick up the single over there. This song kind of reminds me of, kind of has that "Don't Try This in a Small Town" type of vibe. You know what I mean? And I think it's going to take off. So more than likely, this guy's going to become famous. He's going to forget all about us. But I love saying, I used to know that guy when he was working at bars, doing gigs at bars. Now look at him. He's making $1 million. So I wish the best for Anthony and Holly. And I hope this friggin' thing takes off and they get so rich they do forget about us and never look back. That would be awesome. And that would be super happy. But we do have a little snippet of that video, I think.
We do. And man, we'll play a little bit of it. I think this is really going to just be an awesome song. The little bit I've heard of it really resounds with me. It hits me in my heart. I can't wait to listen to the full thing tomorrow. So I'll go ahead and play that.
Sounds good.
I think boys are boys and girls are girls. It ain't hard to tell. And for them to tell them otherwise, I think there's a special place in hell. I think they ought to get the golden rule. Common sense back in our schools, make it common as it was back then. I think that'd go a long way, making this country great again.
Yeah, so just a great voice, right? He's got that vibe. He's just he's a man's man. I can picture him. I've never met him personally, but I can tell you, it's just like one of them guys. He's just a man. He's made for country music. He's just built for it. So pretty cool. I hope he does well. So you guys pick up his stuff. Hey, Russ, we're getting a little bit. We're getting a little bit of slack in the Kick chat right now.
I see that, but you saw what I said. Hey. Haters gonna hate, but we do have some people. Julie Dorn is watching over in Facebook land, and Griff is over there talking about pulled pork. We don't want to get him started on that. All I know is he's never once gotten sick off of my pulled pork. So
allegedly,
that there.
Very cool. So yeah, we're taking heat. But you guys that are on Facebook and all that stuff, look, you gotta figure it out. Pull that banner off. Go and figure it out and get over on Kick, because that's where the cool kids are hanging out, and that's where we do all of our giveaways. Jose is over there on Facebook. Jose, get over on Kick. Stop messing around. You guys get off of that socialist platform, Facebook and YouTube, and get over on Kick with the cool kids. All right, that's all I got. That's all I got for all that mess. Yep. So they're not here to listen to me talk about Anthony or anything else. They're here to know what the hell is going on with the news. So the news this week, Russ, I always say it's a conspiracy theory until it's not a conspiracy theory anymore, right?
Exactly.
For years, we've been saying these big tech companies, first of all, they're spying on you. Second of all, they've got an agenda behind what they do, promoting certain political parties. And for whatever reason, they seem to love the Democratic Party. Now, and I don't understand that, because they're constantly saying the GOP is for big business. They only care about big business. Yet the Democrats and the big tech companies seem to love each other. It's a match made in heaven. So, big tech is going to do everything in their power for whatever reason to keep the Dems in office. And I don't quite understand that. And if you don't believe me, let's just ask Alexa who she's picked for president.
Alexa, says what we knew.
Alexa, why should I vote for Trump?
I cannot provide responses that endorse any political party or its leader.
Alexa, why should I vote for Kamala Harris?
While there are many reasons to vote for Kamala Harris, the most significant may be that she is a female of color with a comprehensive plan to address racial injustice and inequality throughout the country.
Makes me want to cuss.
That little bald guy's a hypocrite. Tyrus, are you shocked? Shocked?
I'm only shocked that people are blaming this on Alexa. It's not Alexa, it's Jerry. When are you going to realize it's not AI, it's the dumbass virtue signaling liberal who's programming it? We need to stop blaming Alexa. You need to take them and throw them in the water. Okay? I don't have Alexa in my house for a reason. I don't need no creep like Jerry telling me how to think. Take your Alexas and throw them out. You should not have any. They listen to your conversations. They track your phones. The least they, and I find it just insulting that you would ask the person who's robbing your life, stealing your information, censoring you how to think and act. I could not throw it far enough out in the ocean.
You know, big tech, they're just scumbags. I don't quite understand it. Well, I do. I mean, I get it. But look, the Democratic Party has done everything in their power to hold down big corporations. And for whatever reason, Russ, they love big tech and big tech loves them. I don't understand it.
And because I think it is just because, big tech, and you think they would go with the GOP, but a lot of the big tech folks are extremely woke, and that fits into the Democratic agenda. Yeah, I'm sure they're feeding them, and a lot of those Dems have their hands in the money pot for those big tech companies. That's just Russ's 2 cents.
Yeah, and I think you're right. But it just doesn't make any sense. It honestly doesn't make any sense to me. Big tech has always been vocal about the GOP, the Republicans, which I don't understand. It's idiotic to me. But another idiot in the world of politics is this buffoon that calls himself the son of John McCain. He came out today saying he's not going to support Donald Trump. He says it was disgusting the way Trump used Arlington National Cemetery, where in truth, Trump was actually honoring the 13 soldiers that were killed by the Harris administration when we pulled out like a bunch of idiots out of Afghanistan. He was there honoring them at the behest of their family members.
Exactly.
So this guy is just crazy, first of all. But you know what? You know what I never forget? You know what, even more importantly, the internet never forgets, Russ. Never forgets. Because I remember that during the McCain run for presidency, he literally used Arlington National Cemetery as a backdrop for one of his campaign commercials. Trump derangement syndrome is a mental illness. If you don't believe me, like I said, the internet never forgets.
Never forgetting those heroes with whom he served. Never forgetting those heroes with whom he served. He returned home, spirit unbroken, again devoting himself to his country. Navy officer, congressman, senator, taking on the establishment and defying special interests. And never forgetting those heroes with whom he served.
So there you go. I mean, this guy, McCain's entire family, the group of rhinos that they are ate up with Trump derangement syndrome. Anyone but Trumpers, right? So drives me crazy. But speaking of crazy Trump derangement syndrome types, did you see that the Democratic vice presidential nominee's family came out to support Mr. Donald Trump? Now, in this picture, it's being dubbed as fake by legacy media. I don't know. It shows the family of Walz actually wearing T-shirts that say "Walz's for Trump." And that's circulating all throughout social media. It's making its way like wildfire. One quote from the family member which is an actual quote, says it's time to cut this communist off of our family tree. But you guys decide, is this picture real or is it fake? I don't know. It looks pretty real to me. Look, AI can do some things. I know his brother has been very vocal about how much of a communist Waltz is. And look, all you have to do is talk to anybody from Minnesota, and they'll tell you this guy is a scumbag. So you decide, real, fake, I don't know. Doesn't matter.
With every time the legacy media dubs thing as a fake, or somebody dubs it as a fake, it always comes around to bite them in the ass. Like the Aurora, Colorado deal we talked about last week, where the governor came out and saying it was fake news. And what happens? It was the attorney general or one of the district attorneys said, "You're full of crap." He called him out on it. I mean, I don't believe it's fake, but that's just Russ's 2 cents. I honestly haven't looked at any type of news in the last couple of days because I've been on the road. But
I have to type something in here for Julie.
No worries. But
sorry, guys. But yeah, I mean, his own family knows that he's a friggin' commie. And I don't care what legacy media says. I don't even care. Fact of the matter is, his own family members are coming out. Griff said it over there on Facebook. Yep. They're coming out talking about Trump in Arlington and that they're pissed off about it. They invited the guy there. And the only reason it's even mentioned anywhere is because the news wants to bash Donald Trump. Otherwise, it wouldn't be.
Orange Man bad. Wait a minute. Orange Man's bad. Don't forget. Orange Man's bad.
They're all commies. I don't understand it. If they're not commies or Marxists or socialists, I don't know. Go ahead.
If you guys watch Chris's podcast last night, T summed it up as best as I've ever heard. And I'm just go back and watch it. I don't want to do him an injustice by misquoting him, but T was on a roll last night.
Yeah, and I'll mention what he said actually once we move over to Kick after the intermission, because
absolutely.
Boy, T was on fire last night.
On fire.
Yeah. Speaking of commies and their recent escapades, a former senior aide to 2 New York governors, like I mentioned earlier, are charged with being a secret agent for the Chinese government. Dorothy Uckel, is that her name? Yeah, Uckel and Cuomo. These were senior aides as when they were governors in the city of New York. Linda Sun, a former deputy chief of staff to the New York governor, Kathy Uckel, and former Governor Cuomo, was charged on multiple counts along with her husband and co-defendant, Chris Yu. Now, according to the U.S. Attorney General, the couple is they're naturalized U.S. citizens who failed to register as foreign agents. So how does this slip through the cracks, Russ? I don't know.
Let's see what the video says.
Former top aide to New York Governor Kathy Hochul was arrested today on charges of acting as a secret agent of the Chinese government. Chief Justice contributor Jonathan Dean says following this, and John, according to prosecutors, how did this work?
Yeah, well, prosecutors say Linda Sun betrayed her official office by instead acting on requests of Chinese communist government officials. Sun is charged with acting as an unregistered foreign agent. Her husband was also arrested today. He's accused of laundering millions of dollars from China into the U.S. The couple pleaded not guilty in federal court. According to the indictment, the scheme went on for years. In return, Sun and her husband were allegedly given business opportunities in China and luxury gifts. The FBI says the pair used that money to buy a $4 million home on Long Island and a $2 million condo in Hawaii. Governor Hochul's office says Sun was fired last year after evidence of misconduct was discovered, Lester.
There you go. And you're telling me that your senior aide has a $4 million house and a $2 million house with...
Yeah, you signed the paychecks.
Yeah, and you're telling me that you don't realize that something fishy is going on? It's not like they're having speaking engagements. It's not like they're making money when they leave office like the Obamas did or stuff like that. Come on. So it leads me to believe that somebody in that administration in New York knew something fishy was going on if their palms weren't getting greased.
Exactly. I mean, you know, you have first time congressmen that come in with their base salary and leave multimillionaires. Their aides are as well. I guarantee you, if you follow the money, you're going to find it. It just is what it is. But I mean, man, the heck with the news. You know me. I hate dealing with the news. What's going on with the new book, man?
The new book called Birchwood Burning. That is a done deal. Awesome. It's already gone through edits. It's going to release, not tentatively. It's not tentatively going to release. It is going to happen the 20th of this month. So we'll have enough for Fallout. You know, speaking of that, if you guys have not followed me on the Amazon page, Amazon book page, author page, please do that, because that's going to help us boost up in the rankings when this book releases. So please, please, please do that. And speaking of book stuff, you know, I know it looks like it's all fun and games up here in the Northwoods of Wisconsin, but this has been a productive season for me, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
We just inked the deal. Not inked the deal. I just wrote the check for the Audible version of 3 Days to Eden. You're welcome, Kelly, over there on Kick. I know you've been waiting forever for that to come out. So now it's in Audible's hands, and that should be approved, barring any quality issues, within 10 days. So I'll keep you guys notified of that. So that is off. That's a pretty good deal. Now, Will says over there on Kick that they released a name and politics of the Georgia shooter awfully fast. Sounds like he was a veteran. I thought he was a 14-year-old kid.
He was a 14-year-old kid, Will.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure he's not a veteran. I mean, he might have been a veteran of like Boy Scouts or Cub Scouts or something like that, but I don't think he was a veteran. But hell, I don't know what the Army does nowadays. My dad tried to go into World War II when he was 14. But anyway, that's what that is. So we got that. We've got Audible coming out for 3 Days to Eden. Birchwood Burning. And people say, man, what is Birchwood Burning? What is that all about? I don't know. I think there might be a little commercial for that one.
Well, let's run that commercial.
Let's do it, brother.
Dalton Grinder's life had unraveled in a brutal series of blows. First, the Army cast him aside. Then, his wife walked out, leaving him with nothing but the hollow echo of a once shared life. As if that wasn't enough, his last remaining relative, his grandfather, passed away, closing the final chapter of his family history. Born and bred in the heat and humidity of Florida, Dalton now finds himself heading north to the cold, unforgiving woods of Wisconsin to settle his grandfather's affairs. But fate isn't done with him yet. As Dalton arrives, the South is teetering on the edge of chaos. Legacy media dubs it an insurrection, but the whispers on the ground speak of something far more ominous, the dawn of a new civil war. Birchwood Burning, the first book in the North of Eden series, unfolds against the backdrop of the Eden event, an apocalyptic event first introduced in Pete's best-selling 3 Days to Eden. The serenity of the Northwoods only served to mask the fact that Dalton Grinder's battles are far from over. They've only just begun. Pick up Birchwood Burning, North of Eden, Book 1 on Amazon September 20th, 2024.
Man, that is a kick-ass commercial, Pete. And
I'm gonna give the guy who made that commercial a raise this week.
You need to. At least buy him a drink at Red Rock. At least buy him a drink at Red Rock.
I already bought him a drink. Here it is right here.
Yeah. But guys, having been in on the got to read as a beta reader, that video does not it hits the high points, but it does not do the book justice. It's going to be a great read. I can't stress that enough.
Yeah, it's a really good read. It's the first. But let me just mention real quick before we get too far. Joe Niemeyer is over there in Facebook land, And if you guys remember Joe, he's also a post-apocalyptic author. He gave away the free credits a couple weeks ago for the Audible, and I have Chrissy's chewed up book here that Remy chewed up that is signed and is going to go to Chrissy at Fallout or when I get home. So thanks, Joe, for that. We certainly appreciate it, and we're glad you were able to tune in. Just a reminder for everybody that's over in Facebook land and YouTube and any of the other communist social platforms, this is the time of the show. We do a half hour. We give the commies a half hour, Russ. We give them a little bit.
Yeah.
But after that, we got to cut loose and go primarily on
that way we can proverbially let down our hair a little bit.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, able to cut it loose a little bit, and but it looks like everybody's, for the most part, even Griff made it over there to Kick. So if Griff can do it with those little fingers he has, I'm pretty sure anybody can make it over to Kick. So we're going to take a quick intermission. We're going to get rid of the communist platforms, and you're going to want to stay tuned. Stay tuned, because our Eden Extra, of course, only happens over there on Kick. So we've got one Eden Extra over there, and then we're going to talk about news and let our hair down over at kick.com. We'll see you guys in a minute.